So I'm sitting here with Cole Jennings, and he is a second year student operator with Scholar's Edge. And in addition to that, school last year with Scholar's Edge, Cole did amazingly well, and he is mentoring three other students in the North Vancouver area, also running businesses in their first year. So welcome, Cole. Thanks for doing this. And Cole, if I could just have you introduce yourself. Grew up in North Van, going to UVic.
Yeah, so my name's Cole. I grew up in North Vancouver and Bowen Island. I went to UVic for my first year. Came ran a business last summer, and now I'm supporting several students on the North Shore. Currently in the process of transferring to UBC for business and economics.
So what do you feel that there was anything that you did before becoming a Scholar's Edge operator that would have benefited you and your experience for what you did last summer?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had, all my schooling throughout the normal months. And then in the summer, I was one of those kids that was always working, a full-time job from the time I was 13 until now. So I kind of learned how to work hard just on job sites, doing construction, as well as I was soccer coaching. So mentoring young kids and learning how to have patience with that. So when I came to this program, I had a few of those skills that I knew would potentially be beneficial for a business owner. I knew how to work hard. I knew how to have patience with young children, which kind of I've related to my patience I have to have with clients sometimes, as well as my employees. So some management skills definitely came from that.
Now, tell me what it was like for you when you were looking at the Scholar's Edge opportunity in the first place. What attracted you to the prospect of running your own business at such a young age?
Yeah, I first heard about it. There's just a clipboard going around one of my first year science classes, and asked if I wanted to make $20,000 or $1,000 in a summer. And I threw my name on it. Figured I got to at least check out what this is. Got a call a few days later from a senior operator, and he said, "Hey, put your name on this thing. You want to come to an information session?" So found this weird room in the very bottom of the sub at UVic. It took me about 15 minutes to find it, and then went through this presentation. Didn't really know anything about it. Just sitting there, kind of watching you guys walk us through what this was about. It seemed really interesting. It was, I'd never been offered a business ownership opportunity before. Business wasn't even something I was initially interested. I was a science student. I was doing physics and astronomy, and all through high school and in my first year of university, it was never something I even considered. So I stumbled across it and figured it was a great way to kind of diversify my skill set portfolio.
So can you tell us what your summer was like? I mean, what revenue, profits, and maybe just kind of take us through kind of what the experience was like for you.
Yeah, so I did $140,000 in my first year. From that, I profited about 28%, so about 40 grand in my pocket, which felt good as a first university student. One of my goals coming into the program was that I wanted to be able to pay off my tuition for the rest of my university career, and that's something that I was able to do. One of the beauties of the program that I really liked was the slow introduction to each topic of business ownership. So you start with, we have a big training event, everybody gets together and you look at your whole business all on paper, and it's really overwhelming at first because you have all these different things you have to learn. But then when you get to it, you start with just one little aspect. So you go out and learn how to market properly, learn how to get leads, first step of making a sale. And then you're going to learn how to do estimates and how to talk and meet clients. And then you're learning how to make sales. So it's all broken down in these bite-sized chunks, and you're able to get really good at one before you move on to the next one. So it's really interesting to kind of see yourself progress through that and have that big learning curve right at the beginning. And then once you hit production and you've kind of got all aspects of your business under your belt, it's really cool to see yourself kind of fly with it all the way through the summer.
So now this is for new applicants to look at the program. I want to, also set that expectation just through these interviews that I'm sure you had your challenges last summer. Mm-hmm. And can you maybe speak to those and how you overcame them and the support that you received through those challenges?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously as a business owner, one of your biggest roles is to be a problem solver. And whether that's a issue with production, or you have a client who's being a little bit unhappy about something, or there's a painter that didn't show up to work one day and now you have to have a talk with them. There's all these very little things that'll add up every single day. You'll have a new issue to try and solve. And one of the things that I learned is that rather than just reacting to a problem, let's say I'm on a job site and something goes wrong, rather than trying to fix it right then and there, I take a step back, take a day. If it's a bigger problem, talk to the client and say, I don't have a solution for you right now, but if you just give me a day, I can get back to you tomorrow and I'll have a solution. And just being able to take those steps back allowed me to properly digest what happened, what the issue was, what the challenge was that I had to overcome, and then be able to present a good solution at the end of that. If you rush into a solution, you're going to make a mistake, and then you're going to have two mistakes to fix. But when I was able to step back, just take a breath, and then approach it with a fresh mindset, I found it was really easy to kind of move past those challenges.
So now, if for a student looking at the program and making that decision, do I want to be a Scholar's Edge operator? Do I want that business ownership experience? What advice would you give them as far as what it would take for them to be successful in the program?
I mean, I walked into this with no business experience whatsoever. So what do you really have to lose by trying? And there's so many different things that you're going to learn in this. And whenever my friends, they're always asking, "Oh, how much money did you make last summer?" Yeah, I made a good amount, but I also always make sure to mention that the learning experiences that I had throughout all this. So, when I was making my decision as to whether or not I was going to do this, over a year ago, I kind of like balanced it on my mind. It's like, okay, it's going to be a lot of really hard work, but with that, there's going to come all these learning opportunities. Um, you can be taught so many things in lectures or at school or by mentors, but actually learning how to do something is completely different. So we can place systems in front of you. You can take a class and have a textbook in front of you, but you can't be taught all the real world experiences that you'll get through this experience.
Well, Cole, I want to thank you for your time and helping and just with this interview. It's great for students to be able to look in at the experience. And thank you. And that's all I have.
Sweet. Thanks, Jamie.
All right.